Moving water across the arid expanse of the Gulf Cooperation Council states requires industrial infrastructure operating at peak physical capacity. Right now, the regional market for the ductile iron pipes that form the backbone of these networks is valued between $530 and $540 million. Starting from a $530 million baseline in 2024, the market is expanding to an estimated $800 million by 2030 and $917 million by 2034. This expansion represents a compound annual growth rate of 5.1 to 5.6%. This growth is structured by geographic concentration, specific application needs, and the volatile pricing dynamics of the supply chain itself. Because this trajectory is backed by mandated state-level development plans, the GCC ductile iron sector offers a consistent path for investment compared to more volatile global infrastructure markets. Capital deployment for these projects is concentrated in a few specific regions. Saudi Arabia is the dominant market driver. The kingdom alone accounts for roughly 1.4% of total global demand for ductile iron. This volume is tied to the massive capital allocations of Vision 2030, which funds entirely new gigaprojects and the modernization of national water grids. In the Qassim region, a single service coverage project encompasses 579 kilometers of potable water pipelines. The United Arab Emirates acts as the secondary engine for the market, focusing on the water security needs of its dense coastal urban centers. The UAE utilizes ductile iron for high-pressure transmission, such as the 245-kilometer, 1,600-millimeter water security main connecting to Sharjah. While Qatar, Oman, Kuwait, and Bahrain maintain steady demand through continuous national water projects, their individual volumes do not shift the macro direction of the market. Success in this sector requires aligning production schedules with the specific development timelines and local procurement laws of Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Beyond the geographic location of these projects, the actual substance moving through these lines dictates the market's technical segmentation. This chart breaks down market value by end use. Potable water distribution is currently the largest segment, value at nearly $337 million in 2024, representing the transmission infrastructure needed to move drinking water from coastal desalination plants to inland supply grids. While potable water is the largest share, the wastewater and sewage sector is expanding at a higher relative rate. Municipalities are prioritizing non-revenue water reduction and the construction of deep tunnel networks. These systems require materials highly resistant to hydrogen sulfide corrosion. The market supports niche applications in industrial cooling and treated sewage effluent networks for irrigation reuse. This shift toward high-stress, corrosive wastewater environments is forcing utility authorities to mandate increasingly strict engineering standards for all pipeline materials. Those standards translate directly into the physical dimensions and protection requirements of the pipes. This cross-section shows the dominance of the DN 700 to DN 1000 diameter range in the GCC order books. These specific large-diameter pipes account for over 29% of the market, representing a value of $268 million in 2024. These massive diameters are required to maintain the high pressure necessary for long-haul transmission mains. Once installed, this infrastructure faces aggressive environmental degradation from the surrounding soil. Strict local regulations mandate protective coatings to prevent failure, including cement mortar internal linings and ISO-certified external zinc spray. In aggressive environments, contractors must add polyethylene encasement to reach the pipeline's intended operational lifespan. We can analyze the efficiency of these choices by looking at the life cycle phases for different pipeline materials. As shown in Phase 2 and Phase 3, the durability and operational efficiency of ductile iron offset the higher initial capital costs over decades of service. Execution in the GCC requires specialized heavy manufacturing capacity for pipes exceeding 700 millimeters, equipped with multi-layer corrosion protection. Sourcing and transporting these massive components involve a complex logistical value chain. Supply is currently dominated by domestic industrial champions in Saudi Arabia and the UAE, such as Sadip and Jindal SAW. While imports from China, India, and Europe are present, they primarily supplement local production or supply specialized fittings. The weight and bulk of large-diameter pipe make freight costs a decisive factor. This logistical burden often makes imports uncompetitive compared to local suppliers. Government procurement frameworks reinforce this by providing explicit preferences for local production in public tenders. Despite the massive demand volume, supplier profit margins remain under intense pressure. This chart shows the collision between volatile raw material costs, like pig iron and ferrosilicon, and the fixed price ceilings found in large-scale EPC contracts. Aggressive competitive tendering by regional utilities keeps these prices low, forcing manufacturers to operate within a very thin margin of error. Profitability in this sector is entirely dependent on hyper-efficient local logistics and the capacity to hedge against raw material price shocks. Combining these geographic, technical, and economic data points provides a clear view of the market's future through 2030. The expansion of desalination and deep tunnel wastewater grids creates a direct path to an $800 million valuation. Success requires localized manufacturing capable of producing specific large-diameter pipes while absorbing global commodity price shifts. Succeeding in the GCC ductile iron sector requires executing local supply economics flawlessly within a high-stakes, thin-margin environment.